Hi, my name's Matt Buckman. I'm the General Manager of Gulfstream Coach's Motorized Division, where we produce the B Plus BT Cruiser, and behind me, the Class C Conquest. Gulfstream's been in business for 43 years. They've been building motorhomes for 39, but Gulfstream is the largest independently owned, family-operated RV manufacturer in the industry. We are known throughout the industry as a quality manufacturer. We really focus on innovation, and really one of our key marks is the value equation. Our products, all, regardless of what we build, really pack a punch when it comes to value. As we travel the country attending shows, as we talk to hundreds, thousands of people, a question is pretty common that comes up, and that question is, what is a B+? So it's a great question, and a B+, you're looking at it here on my right. This is a coach that is designed for couples. It's a little smaller, a little narrower, a little easier to maneuver, but this is what a B+ is versus its kind of original namesake, which was a Class C, which is behind us. Class C is designed for families. This is for couples, this is for families. Family side of it, you have a cab-over sleeping area on a Class C, and on a B+, you don't. It's mainly there for storage. So again, two different functions and uses, but uniquely different, but similar. You know, the B+ is somewhat of an undersized Class C. We've been building the BT Cruiser for 25 years. Matter of fact, it's our 25th anniversary, and we are a product that has really pioneered innovation in the Class B+ market. What makes us unique is we've held true to kind of our original design. We have an incredibly strong foundation. We have outstanding construction in terms of how we bring everything together. There's a lot of great components on this unit. You have a fiberglass cap. You got side moldings that are molded fiberglass, rear fiberglass cap, and a fiberglass roof. So again, a lot of great features on a BT Cruiser, really to add, bump up the quality and the feature benefit of this particular product. Another question I get very often is why would I buy a B+ as opposed to a B van? The B vans seem to be a little smaller, a little easier to maneuver. However, the consumer always figures out that it's kind of it's not quite the RV experience you can have with something like a B+. There are some very key and distinct advantages to a B+. One is typically you're going to have a dry bath on a B+ versus a wet bath on a B van. Secondly, a B+ is going to give you infinitely more towing capability as well as weight storage capability. So again, those are two very key elements when you're thinking about RVing. Thirdly, the B+ is a little bit more versatile. We can make them longer, it's a little wider, so it feels more spacious inside. On a B van, you have a great time for a weekend. On a B+, you can have a great time for a month at a time. So it's a much more unique experience. So that's when I talk about B versus B+, there's a whole other slew of things that really make this advantageous. One, larger engine, larger tanks, that's fuel, water, gray tank, black tank, LP, generator. All of those things are upgraded and larger as opposed to a B van. And all of those things make your RV experience that much more enjoyable. So the next question they typically ask is, why should I buy a B+ versus a C? And that really depends on that particular customer, their needs and wants. But again, like I said before, couples unit, family unit. But there are some key differences and things that we feel the B+ will provide a better experience for the consumer. Traditionally, the B+ is going to be a little narrower than the Class C. It's going to be not as tall, lower center of gravity, a little easier to drive, park, and maneuver. Outside of that, the functionality is identical to that of a Class C. Besides height and width, this key design element really differentiates the B+ from the Class C. and that is the overhead cab. If you notice on this, the overhead cab really extends just to the edge of the top of the windshield. With the Class C on the other side, you'll notice the overhead extends significantly beyond the beginning of the windshield. In some cases, some manufacturers take it all the way out. And that can give you a very unique experience when you're driving. It kind of makes it feel like you're driving in a cave, and visibility is somewhat limited. With the B+, the visibility is wide open. What I'd like to do is give you an example of what a B+ overhead looks like. It's primarily entertainment and some storage. We'll take a shot as we go in, and then I'll compare that or contrast that to what you get with the Class C. Wanted to give you a visual of the design element here, which is the overhead bunk. On this B+, there is no overhead bunk. It's an overhead entertainment center. The overhead bunk would be in the Class C, but this gives you a good example of what that would look like. You can have a TV mounted here. This has a nice 42-inch TV mounted up front, but you also have, you know, nice storage on both sides. But again, this is what we call a B+ in terms of the overhead. It's a modified overhead area for entertainment. Just for comparison, what we have here is an overhead bunk in a Class C. Very traditional design, but this would be mainly for sleeping. Again, if there's just the two of you, you can store a lot of stuff up here, but again, it's primarily made for sleeping.